is so by your side.
This is Lumen, the first device hacking your metabolism. With just one breath.
This is a clip of me posing at the leanest I've ever been. It was taken just a few weeks out from the California Natural Muscle Mayhem, where I won the lightweight class, the overall, and earned my pro card in natural bodybuilding. Now, keep in mind, this footage was shot on an iPhone 5S, so it doesn't capture the best detail, but here are a few progress photos from the same time frame at the same level of leanness. Now, the weird thing about this is that I do think that this level of leanness looks pretty cool, and I can't understand why so many people have a goal of not just getting lean, but getting shredded and then staying shredded. A lot of people see fitness influencers maintaining this shredded physique year-round and then set the same goal for themselves without realizing the dark side of it all. So, in this video, I'm going to lay out 3 harsh realities that come alongside being shredded, and then explain a better, more practical approach to getting and maintaining the physique you want. The first harsh reality is that when you get shredded, you will look your biggest and leanest under good lighting and when flexing or lifting, especially if you have a good camera. However, you'll most likely look your smallest and most depleted for the other 23 hours of the day. In this posing footage, I'm only 150 pounds, or 68 kilos, at 5 foot 5 inches tall. And while I do think I look more jacked here than usual, in this posing footage, I'm only 150 pounds, or 68 kilos, at 5 foot 5 inches tall. And while I do think I look more jacked here than usual, I looked much less jacked than usual just walking around. And this is where the so-called natty triangle comes in. Most people get to pick 2. You can be shredded and natural, but you won't be big, or you can be big and natural, but you won't be shredded, or you can be big and shredded, but you won't be natural. Now, obviously, there will always be a handful of freaks with 1 in a million genetics who can be all 3 at once, but for the rest of us, we get to pick 2. The second harsh reality is that you may look like you're in your best shape ever, but still not be any happier with the way you look. That's because body dysmorphia is exacerbated at very low body fats. And almost everyone I've ever coached, confidence and body image...
Christ, 5-minute queue? What is this? Understand.
presents our opening round here at Skyway Stadium, where its jump pads are sure to lift the spirits of our... The Retros, the Live Wires, the Mighty, and finally, the High Notes. Let's get this started.
The early evening sky offers a clear canvas for our contestants to paint their path to victory.
We've got our standard default arena lined up today, folks, but I'm pretty sure we'll see some exceptional action from the teams today. Vault 1 is being opened by the Retros.
We've got our first elimination, Scotty. Talk about making a solid first impression on our sponsors.
It's a test of nerves and skill from here. The match is starting to heat up as the Live Wires have started our first cash out.
Threat detected. Up there. Enemy spotted. In there. Bandit bomb out.
The Live Wires will need to try again. Team wiped.
Remember, folks, a team that falls together loses cash together. In our tournament matches, a team wipe costs you cash.
The Mighty rob a cash out station without hesitation.
I wonder what else they can get away with. The High Notes have tuned up their game with an impressive turnaround.
The High Notes just jump-started a cash out.
Explosive mine arm. Arming a mine.
Complete team wipe for the Live Wires.
A quick reminder for our audience that a complete team wipe will trim a team's total earnings in our tournament matches. Bandit bomb out. Immobilizing them.
He's stealing. Medium behind box.
The Live Wires are back and ready to avenge that team wipe.
Oh.
Far from obsolete, the Retros steal a cash out. The Retros pull ahead.
Charge deployed. Safe orbit.
A knock at the door of Vault 3 from the Mighty.
Time to disappear.
Stealing that cash out.
Nice.
Change the game.
Incredible. That's a cash out snag by the High Notes. The High Notes assume command of the match. The second half of this match is underway. I bet there's a highlight reel play on the horizon.
Got him.
Nice drop.
Let's reposition.
The Mighty take the top spot. Cash
They're
out in
pushing this
progress,
corpse.
thanks to the Mighty.
Revive. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Heading to cash out C. Bandit bomb out. Time to disappear.
Adversity for the high notes. Wipeout. The high notes have respawned.
It's time to see what events try to knock our contestants off their game.
Nailed it. Cash out for the Mighty.
Just prevent the wipe if you can.
I love the smell of a fresh vault in the arena.
We've cranked up the damage in the arena. Side effects include crumbling buildings and total chaos.
The Retros will need to try again. Team wiped.
They won't be looking back fondly on the play.
Only a minute on the clock now. The live wire
Guys right there.
is storming the vault. There's time left in our mega damage event, and surprisingly, some structures in the arena are still standing. Seconds to go, folks.
Nice try, nice try.
One of our teams has triggered overtime, so we get to enjoy this match a bit longer. That was nice of them.
Respawn alert. The high notes are back in action.
Going for cash out station B. Affirmative. Glitching some screens.
30 seconds left for our contestants to change the game.
Disrupting their attack. Vanish bomb out.
That's a blow to the Retros. Team wiped.
They won't be feeling nostalgic about that anytime soon.
Nice.
Sweet.
Time. All that's left is to confirm the result. One of our teams have just paved their way to fame. Congratulations to our winners.
Improve as they get leaner, but only up to a point. Most often, once they get past the so-called beach lean stage and start pushing into shredded territory, a switch flips in their brain and they can no longer see their physique objectively. They start noticing every little bit of fat on their body and get very critical about how they look. And it's only after the diet is over and they look back on their old progress photos that they think, wow, I did not realize that I was actually that lean. And this is a shame, because people work so hard to attain a certain look that they don't even appreciate once they get there. And then the third harsh reality is that being shredded comes with unhealthy side effects, even as a natural. This 2013 case study followed a natural male bodybuilder through 26 weeks, so just about 6 months of dieting. And in that time frame, he lost 30 pounds total and went from 14.8% body fat all the way down to 4.5% body fat, measured by DEXA. And this is what he looked like on stage at the end of the diet, where you can see visible glute striations, no low back fat, feathered delts, and so on. And while he placed well at the show, his hormones took a huge hit. His testosterone levels dropped to a quarter.
Our round is blessed with glorious weather today, normal visibility and plenty of sun.
The hotel area of our arena is really popping for this match. A great spot for panoramic views or to plan a new angle of attack. Unlimited potential for our match as the Boundless are opening Vault 1.
Our first elimination. Now the mind games and strategic plays will really start to take center stage.
No more niceties out there.
Panic bomb out.
The Ultra Rares are standing out. They're unlocking Vault 2.
Shit.
The Overdogs are respawning and are ready to show us a new trick or two. The Boundless are looking to make a name for themselves. First cash out started.
B or A?
The Ultra Rares have
I think B.
Oh, it's already going to be, so. Go from under.
note of success, the high notes just stole a cash
When I said
out.
go from under, was that confusing?
Showing away, the ultra rares are in the lead. The ultra rares made an awesome steal there.
Moves reap rewards.
Guys, one shot right there.
Deploying a surprise! Explosive mine placed. Jump pad deployed.
It's the Boundless out in front.
Time to disappear.
The overdogs have been wiped out.
They've been made a cat's paw.
Payday for the ultra rares. Cash out complete. The ultra rares are leading the way. The Boundless are opening Vault 3. A long-awaited return to the arena for the overdogs. This match just passed its midway point.
Gotcha.
A lot of action still in store for you folks. The overdogs are crowding into Vault 4.
Always cool to be sandwiched in between two teams right when you respawn.
Yeah.
The Boundless have started a cash out. The high notes are back and ready to drop some explosive beats. A team wipe mishap for the overdogs.
Bandit bomb out, Scotty.
The high notes commandeered a cash out. Great steal.
Will they make this a spree, I wonder?
Disrupting their tech. Bandit bomb out.
Moving into first place, the ultra rares. The ultra rares have commenced a cash out. The Boundless stretch their limits, stealing a cash out with ease.
Can you believe it?
With hazards all over the arena, contestants would do well to take a deep breath and focus on the objectives.
But keep breathing, Scotty. Keep breathing.
The overdogs will need to reboot. Team wipe.
Let any contestants go after a team wipe here. In our tournament matches, a team wipe results in a loss of good hard cash.
In the bank, the Boundless completed a cash out. The overdogs have been released back into the arena. Team respawned. And just like that, a new vault has appeared in the arena.
At the finals, our contestants need to be prepared for anything. Let's see which team is best equipped to deal with our upcoming event.
Complete team wipe for the overdogs.
As you watch these teams battle, remember that a full team wipe in tournament play isn't just a setback in the arena, it's a financial hit on the scoreboard. Sky laser activated. Let's just say that standing still in the arena is really, really not recommended right now.
The Overdogs have recovered and respawned. The Ultra Rares have just completed a cash out. Just what the doctor ordered, another vault.
Ready to detonate. C4
Going for cash out B.
Our contestants have just 30 seconds left to impress our sponsors.
Bandit fallen out.
We're down to the last 30 seconds. Which team will triumph?
Time to glitch. Glitch grenade out.
Ten seconds.
That's crazy. GG.
That's the final whistle, and the result is in. With fame and fortune on the line today, our contestants sure gave us a great show. We'll see you next.
Of what they were at baseline. So we went from a very high 922 nanograms per deciliter, about as high as you tend to see in a natural lifter, all the way down to a clinically low level of 227 nanograms per deciliter, which would still count as low for someone in their 80s or 90s. We can also see that his ghrelin went up and his leptin went down, meaning he must have felt super hungry all the time. His cortisol also skyrocketed, doubling throughout the diet, and this was reflected in his total mood disturbance, which increased by 617% throughout the diet. Severe sleep interruption is another extremely common side effect, which can be very frustrating. Essentially, your body's doing everything in its power to tell you to not sleep because you need to eat first. In my experience, this is one of the most brutal aspects of getting shredded. Case studies on women show similar negative health effects, plus the addition of menstrual cycle disruptions and the consequences of that, like infertility and bone mineral loss. This case study on a natural figure competitor found that even 1.5 years after the competition was over, she still didn't have her period back. Of course, not everyone is the same here. Another study found that 72% of competitors from both bikini and figure divisions combined had their period back after 3 to 4 months. Some of the variability there could be due to the difference in leanness required for bikini versus figure and whether or not the competitors were comfortable regaining healthy body weight. And sometimes the side effects can get bizarre. It's common for competitors to get complaints that they smell like ammonia or nail polish because caloric balance is so negative that the body turns to protein for energy, which is then converted to ammonia and then excreted through sweat and urine. Even more common is for competitors to do absolutely wild stuff with food. People will watch the Food Network nonstop, watch all kinds of food challenges, hoard cupboards full of junk food, and find things appetizing that really shouldn't taste or smell good. Here's an example.
Let me illustrate how crazy it gets. The smell of dog food makes me hungry. And worse than that, the smell of his crap makes me hungry when I clean it up.
Now, you may be wondering, does this mean every shredded influencer wants to eat dog poop? Maybe. It could be that they're secretly suffering just as much as the rest of us, but looking lean for their social media or for their business is simply worth the sacrifice for them. It could also be that they're on performance-enhancing drugs, which can make maintaining a lower body fat a little bit easier. However, even with pharmaceutical enhancement, most people will still suffer similar side effects as naturals, except for the testosterone stuff. Another perfectly plausible scenario is that they simply have lower body fat set points than me or you. For example, I'd guess someone like David Lade is able to maintain 6 to 8% body fat without suffering too much. I really doubt David Lade wants to eat dog poop. Based on his photos as a teenager, it seems like he's just able to get lean and stay lean without trying that hard. But this isn't common. Most people have a higher body fat set point than David Lade. Now, I need to backtrack just a bit. Body fat set point theory is the idea that we each have a specific level of body fat that our body will fight to maintain. If we get too far below the set point, it pulls us back up by making us feel hungry and lethargic. And if we get too far above the set point, it pulls us back down by turning hunger down and ramping up metabolism. And while set point theory is a good model for a simple understanding, it originated in the 1950s, and recent models have updated it based on new science. One of the prevailing ones these days is called the dual intervention point model, which says that instead of a single body fat set point, there are actually 2 points that each act as a boundary for a set range where our body is most comfortable, hence the dual intervention point model. For example, if I try to get leaner than 8 or 9% body fat, my body will absolutely punish me by skyrocketing my hunger, tanking my metabolism, and giving me all the bad side effects we just talked about. Similarly, if I try to bulk beyond, say, 25% body fat, my body will also fight me by lowering my appetite, boosting my metabolism, sweating like crazy, and so on. But I can get to the lower end of that boundary without too much resistance. And that's the key, finding the lower boundary of your body fat set range. That's what can be sustainable, but this range is different for everyone. David Lade's range might look something like this, whereas someone who's more prone to obesity might have a range that looks more like this. So David Lade could get to 6% body fat and still feel fine, whereas this person might start to feel like death anytime they dip below 12% body fat. So if you want to sustain a lean physique, you should aim for the bottom end of your set range, but not lower. Of course, you can go lower if you want to. For example, if you have a
proudly presents the soaring skyscrapers of Seoul.
People need to play this game more.
Live wires. And finally, the steamrollers. Let's go, everybody.
As the rain pours down, our contestants will still have to leave their opponents high and dry.
For once, our arena hasn't been shaken or stirred. It's a straight-up playing field for this round. The steamrollers are putting the squeeze on Vault 1.
One's guarding my body.
Frag grenade out. Toxic gas sent.
Brother. Oh. We don't talk about that. Hmm.
The steamrollers have turned up the heat and rolled back into the fight. Quick, cash out B.
Let's go in there.
The match is starting to heat up as the mighty have started our first cash out. The live wires have started a cash out.
Going to cash out B. Poison him. Frag grenade out. Time to disappear.
Oh man, I'm dead. Just turret.
The overdogs are back. Team respawn. The steamrollers denied a cash out. Great steal. Frag out.
Bandage bomb out.
Alas, the live wires have been wiped out.
Scatter grenade out. Switching things up.
The mighty are playing for keeps. They've snagged the match's first cash out. The live wires have returned to the arena. Incredible. That's a cash out secured by the steamrollers. The live wires are cracking open Vault 4. At the halfway point, our contestants are transcending realities.
Sprint to cash out
Much
D.
like our sponsor, Isolt.
Out here, come on. I'm going to revive. Hold on.
Tossing a frag.
Okay.
Yikes. Team wipe for the live wires.
It's lights out for now.
Bandage bomb out.
Respawn alert. The live wires are back in action. The overdogs are initiating a cash out.
Glitching things up.
Contestants need to focus on the sprints.
Almost at it.
Toss scouts out.
It's time to see which team wants this more. Let's get ready for this match a bit longer. That was nice.
Cash out in the works.
Okay, there's a new event coming up in the round for our contestants.
Adversity for the overdogs. Wipeout.
It's all gone to the dogs for them, Cutie. It's colossal chaos time. We've cranked up the damage that contestants will experience in the arena.
Oh my god. My bad.
They are in the driving seat. Up their pace.
Just like this. Let's get down to business.
With shocking names.
Sure.
New vault in the arena. The ultimate
Secure cash out A.
We're at the finals. The steamrollers are busy prying into a vault.
GG.
and slide to the other side. It's always a man down. Draw down. Hands in the air, nigga, make one move, get gunned down. Giving out smoke so long.
One of these days, I'll make this fucking sniper work.
Bitch got spent, she was hanging with a op.
One of these days.
I was on Pinedale glass in the sock. Back in the day, I invest in the block. Fast forward now, I'm investing in stock. I put a drum on the heckling cots. Don't play cause I'm very invested in shots.
Push the fucking pack off of the porch or break a pound down. Get the scrap if it happen to blow, it makes a round sounds. Pussy cat on my lap, push it back and go to town down. Putting rap on my back and I'm black and snatching crowns.
Competition or something, but I would still suggest getting back out of there as promptly as you can so you don't exacerbate those negative side effects. Trying to stay shredded can also impair your ability to make progress in size and strength. People who stay shredded year-round have a hard time making any progress, and the longer you stay below your set range, the more likely you'll be to binge, see a weight rebound, and then end up sustaining a less lean physique than if you had just been a bit more conservative with your low end to begin with. Now, for the record, I'm cutting myself at the moment, and that's basically my goal. Hit the low end boundary of my dual intervention range and try to maintain there for a bit. And of course, it's normal to feel hunger and experience some cravings and even see strength loss at a certain point. Those things are expected to happen even if you're within your set range. And it's normal for fat loss to be challenging. But once it goes from challenging to all-consuming, you'll know. And I'd say that's when it's time to probably reevaluate your goals and why you set them in the first place. So that's it for this one, guys. Before we go, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community that has thousands of
Huel. What is Huel? It's food. Real food. That's ready in under a minute.
6% body fat is ideal for men. That's who Athlete X? You better hope we don't meet in person. I'm kidding. Or am I? Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. It's a little bit illusory, 35-ish. As a male, you can expect, in many cases, fat overhang, such as your love handles, fat overhang on your lower tummy, and droopy fat deposits, not droopy, but visible, grabbable fat deposits.
Let's get down to business.